session here over at Playcrafting here. Featured, we have Simple Machines, Kurt and his team. Guys, introduce yourself. Tell me a little bit about yourself, what you do here, some of your inspirations behind why you joined the team, why you created it.
Sure. I'm Kurt. I started Simple Machine in like 2011, I think, something like that. Um, I don't know. We make games. That's basically like what we do. Make mobile games mostly. Although we have messed around with some internal stuff, like doing some VR stuff, and
Okay.
working on some AR stuff. But primarily making mobile games. So
Okay.
I don't know. I'm kind of the guy that keeps everyone working.
Working.
I
So if you're not here, no one else does work.
guess.
It's off.
No, I just have to keep them doing the right stuff. They work a lot. Yeah. Oh,
So I'm Ivan. I'm the 2D artist. I was hired back in November. So I do a lot of I help out with like sprites and like concept art. Sometimes I'll do like advertisements and stuff. And that's pretty much it.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
Hey, I'm Now. I do the 3D art here. So right now I'm just working on games that are not yet released, but yeah,
Work in
just
progress.
helping out with 3D stuff.
Okay. Okay. Hint, hint, guys. Hint, hint.
Is that the camera?
That would be the camera.
Okay. Hi. I'm Danny. I am a developer, one of the developers on the team, and a game designer. I also joined when Ivan joined in November.
So you guys are a package deal.
Yes.
Okay,
Always
okay.
together.
Okay. Understandable.
I studied game design in college, so that's why I wanted to work at a game studio.
Okay.
And yeah, I was lucky enough to be hired, and am now just working on a couple small games, doing the programming and some of the UI and animations.
Okay. Okay.
Hi, I'm Eric. I'm the oldest in the company right now, besides Kurt. Yeah. You know. Yeah. So I'm also working. I'm kind of the game designer and kind of the tech lead right now in the company. So we're working to get the games out, get all the good stuff out.
Okay. So Kurt, what made you start? Start game design. What made you realize that this is what you wanted to do and bring this type of content out to people?
well, I came to New York initially to be a musician, but I found out that's a terrible industry. So when I left there, I'd wanted to make some. I initially had this idea to do. It was kind of like a way for nonprofits to raise money in games. This was around like 2007 or 2006, and it was supposed to be like you could put it into any game, and then if you like collect a certain amount of coins, for every certain amount of coins you would collect on like a game, like people could sponsor you, almost like a readathon. Like
Okay.
However many solitaire decks you beat, it's 25 cents per win, and like so it was supposed to be this whole thing of like raising money for charity, and then I tried to build that, and it was like impossible. So when I realized how hard it was to do code, I went to school at Parsons. I got my MFA in design and technology, and then started making games just as a one-man show. And then I realized that I was much more excited about the idea of working with a team,
Okay.
and building a team and building a culture where like a work environment could be really exciting. Because I think that's a new thing for indies to deal with, is like a lot of them do their own thing, but like what does an independent company look like?
Right.
And that's kind of unpaved territory right now.
Right. It's definitely one of those areas where like you see it all, like these indie developers, they all are like small offices. You come into the workspace, it's like everyone's here to work, which is really nice. And I see you guys have done quite a bit. So after we spoke a while at Play NYC, you spoke to me about a couple of stuff that you were working on, and Pop the Lock, the calculator game. Those are really fun. What else have you guys been working on since Play NYC? You want to talk about a little bit about that? Some of the stuff that you guys have been doing since then.
Yeah, sure. So there's a couple. Well, we're always working on a lot of games. That's probably our biggest problem, is always trying to focus on keeping certain games from becoming our next project while we're working on 3 or 4 other projects. There's like a sweet spot where like if we're working on like 3 projects in the office, like 1 main one and 2 on the side, kind of, it like keeps people really excited. There's always something new going on.
Okay.
So the projects we're working on currently now are a game that's coming out that Danny basically kind of like led. Whenever a new programmer comes into Simple Machine, the first thing that we do is kind of give them a small game to finish to completion,
Okay.
start to finish, and it kind of like helps us to kind of, you know, make it feel like a team effort, but
Right.
then also they get all the experience. So we don't even have to
Do any
training
right.
manuals because now he knows everything
Okay.
because he's done it himself. You
right,
know?
which is nice. Which is nice.
Yeah. Yeah. He's good now. He can just run the whole thing.
All right, so that's good. It's good.
That game doesn't have a phonetic spelling of a name. It's __ currently. That's the name of the game.
Like the face.
Yeah. Kind of.
Oh wait, the other face underscore
It's
dash.
upside down.
Yeah, so it's okay.
Yeah. That one comes out the end of March.
Okay.
And then we've been working a lot. The main one that we've been working on, that Eric's been working on, is the Twitter game, which is kind of like not titled currently yet. We're really close to titling it, but and in that one we use real tweets, and we grab a bunch of tweets, we chop them up, and then players have to re-sort them out. Which
Okay.
is using like real data all the time, so it's a
Okay.
little crazy.
All right, so let's talk a little bit more about that and like what you guys do and with that game and how you pull into Twitter's API or their server to like get these tweets from people.
Yeah.
You can talk a little bit about how that's done, who does that, who programs that, and who leads that.
Yeah. You want to talk about it, Eric?
So the main thing that we did was we make use of Twitter's API to pull in information. So the information that we get is how you would get if you use the Twitter search engine. So Twitter
Okay.
has a search engine. You can go on a browser. You can search for anything you want. So it's pretty much the same thing. It's just that we can download the data, and then we will go through our own massaging process, because not every tweet can be displayed on the game.
Right.
There are some certain conditions and some certain, like, too many hashtags and stuff like that. It will be very hard for a player to understand how to piece them together. Yeah.
Right.
We kind of found that there's a sweet spot of getting the right tweets and then chopping them up so that people can play, and it's fun.
Right.
Right. Because if it's like I mentioned, too many hashtags, it's actually quite difficult for a player to reformat
A full
game.
tweet.
Yeah.
You're right.
Correct. Yeah.
'Cause
So
you don't know where they put the hashtag in it.
yeah, correct.
Right.
Yeah, like, or there's too many ads and stuff like that. Yeah, it's also difficult. Yeah, and we also found that we cannot really have tweets that have images and stuff like that. So we have to.
Okay.
We kind of realized we learned a lot by looking at how people tweet and stuff like that, and what kind of tweets are actually useful in a game setting.
Now, I
Yeah.
did have a question. I had some time. I played around with it for a bit. Is there a chance that you might get your own tweet in a game? It's possible that you can get your own tweet if you play.
Yeah, but so far we haven't really seen it yet, because there is really a lot of tweets in the world, kind of thing. Yeah, you had to.
So,
Yeah.
And the Twitter game, is that supposed to be out? When is that supposed to be coming out? Is there a release date on that? Or
We're looking at April.
April?
Yeah, we're looking
Okay.
at April.
So April, if you guys see my tweet, make sure you screenshot it, or anyone else's tweet here, screenshot it, tag me on Twitter. Anyone else on Twitter?
Yeah.
I got to see that. I need to see that. So that's pretty That's pretty nice. So I wanted to ask all of you guys, what are your some inspirations around why you guys chose game design as well? I already spoke. Kurt already answered that question. So why did you guys decide to all do game design, or editing, UI editing, stuff like that, 2D design, 3D design?
Can we start with someone else?
You don't want to give your inspiration? You just had to
Be inspirational,
Oh, Oh. Okay. So Kurt kind of just picked me up off the street because I wasn't. I have like no background in game design, no background in programming, no background in professional art. I actually worked at a hospital as healthcare worker.
Okay.
So I was dealing with a lot of patients, dealing with a lot of stress, disease, blood. I worked as a respiratory therapist. Not too many people are familiar with that career, but like it's basically just cardiopulmonary, a bunch of like heart, lung stuff.
Okay.
So I was told that there was an opening here for an artist by a friend. So she was like, you know, just send over a portfolio, see how it goes. You got nothing to lose. So I did that, and then that's when like Kurt contacted me for an interview, and I was like, oh man, is this actually is this actually happening? And stuff? Yeah, because I was like my resume was barren. There was like one job, and it was my hospital job, and then my portfolio was just like fan art and like doodles that I did for fun. So it was like a huge surprise, because I've always wanted to do gaming. Like I grew up with gaming like since I was like really young. So it's like kind of like one of those like dream jobs and stuff.
Right, dream come true. That's pretty nice. That's dope.
Yeah, and that's pretty much it. So here we are.
Here we are. You know, a couple doodles later. You know, we're here.
Anyone sick in the office, Ivan can handle it.
This is true. This is true. You know.
True.
It's dope.
Yeah, so I was kind of always a gamer as a child. And then I always liked art, so it kind of made sense doing
Bridge between.
art for games, yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty dope.
So I went to RIT, Rochester Institute of Technology, for 3D digital design. And I actually didn't expect to be doing 3D when I was in high school. I just thought I would be doing, honestly, I didn't really have like an idea of what I would be doing, but I just ended up doing 3D because it had to do with games, and there was a lot of career paths from 3D. And then, yeah, like through my studies, I kind of decided I wanted to do games. And yeah, I didn't really expect to be doing mobile games either, actually. It was kind of like, well, I guess I'd be working at like game studio doing like console games and stuff. But it was really hard to look for a job, actually. Really competitive. But yeah, I was lucky enough to find an opening here at Simple Machine. And I'm really grateful that I'm working here.
Nice.
Yeah, kind of living the dream-ish.
Because now we weren't even looking for a 3D artist. And then
Yeah.
Al sent her resume, and I remember looking at it, and I saw her highlight reel, and I was like, all right, well, I guess we need to hire a 3D artist now. So, okay. Yeah.
Yep.
It's pretty good.
Sorry. So when I actually was in college, I originally applied as a business major, and then after like one semester, I realized that I hated
it.
statistics. I hated microeconomics. I hated all the classes that I was
No.
in. But the part that I liked about it was that you had to think about the consumer and like that side of it.
Okay.
And then my parents were like, "Oh, well, you have to major in something that makes money." So I was like, "Oh, maybe
Of
I can
course.
try computer science or like some kind of programming." But that was too detached from the person as well. It was like, "Oh, like I don't care if this is running optimally. It's like this architecture, like whatever." And so I felt that game design was kind of like a nice bridge of like the UI isn't just the visuals, it also reflects like the interaction, and it's like seeing that right in front of someone's face. It's like, oh, they do this and it does what you expect it to have to do in like an interactive sense. So that was why I was interested in games, and because games are cool.
It's true. It's true.
So for me, I've been working for a couple of years, and I decided that I did not want to have any regrets. Yeah, because the dream was always to work in a job where you don't find that it's a chore, right? To come to
Right.
work every day. Yeah.
That's the
So
dream.
so I decided to like take a chance and and I took an MFA in game design in NYU Game Center. Then after I graduated, I managed to hound Kurt until he gave me a job. Yeah. Yeah, and then so that's why I'm here today. Yeah.
Okay. Which is that's you guys have some interesting stories, living the dream. I see day by day, which is nice. Now, one question I kind of wanted to know is, what is the regular workflow? What is the day like here? You know, what time do you guys come in? What are your normal duties and tasks that you guys have to do on a regular? I know it's always changing because you guys are always working on multiple projects at once. So, like for instance, what's on the agenda what would be on the agenda for like tomorrow? Okay, it is a work day. I had to double check tomorrow's a work day.
So we come into office. Right now we are trying to beat the daylight saving thing. So we're coming at 9. Then we work until 5, and we will start with morning meetings. All right, so we'll run through each of us what tasks we're doing, what projects we're doing. We write it down on Word documents so that we can keep track and stuff like that. And then we'll start the day off with a clap. Right, synchronized clapping.
Hey,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah. Which
Okay.
we are we are so in habit.
Let's do it. Let's do it. Okay.
So we are so habit right now. Whenever we have a meeting, all right, we always feel like we need to end with a clap.
That was actually a really good clap. Like it all sounded like one clap. Like,
Yeah.
That was pretty nice.
Yeah. Then after we do our own things, and then we have lunch. We lunch together. We chat and stuff like that. We go bubble tea together, and then we kind of make
Bubble
sure
tea
that
every day.
not every day.
Cause I saw your answer. He's like,
No,
just
no,
about every.
Yeah. So that's how a day is like. Yeah.
Okay. Now, for anyone that might want to, get into game design, game development, UI design, 2D, 3D, all that good stuff, what would you say to any of the viewers that are scared to make that jump or to attempt it, or have an idea that they want to get out but they're not sure it's good enough? What would you want to say to them regarding it? Like, would you want to say like how to get your feet wet in like game design? What would you want to tell them that you wish you knew before you decide to do it?
I think find people that you can learn from is the most important thing. I think that a lot of people try to just like go watch a video or do something like that's gonna teach them how to do it, but really you're looking for a community of people to join, because you kind of have to work off of what people have made and kind of learn from them. I think that the faster that someone can make something and put it out there, it's the hardest thing for independent or hobbyist developers to do. Like that's why they end up with like 6-year projects on their hands. And the reality is, in a lot of ways, at least my feeling about it is, it's not that the project's big, it's that it's terrifying to release something. Like basically saying like, hey, go up on stage and public speak to someone about your most vulnerable thing that you've come up with in your life. And it's like, that's a terrifying thing to do, And so I think though the thing that I always see is the faster that someone does it, the sooner their brain calibrates to be like, that wasn't so bad. I'm not so scared anymore.
Right.
And now why did I waste so much time? And I could do this even faster. Your brain like min-maxes it like a RPG,
Right,
It's just
right.
like, oh my gosh, I could have done this like in 2 weeks. I could have done this in 3 weeks. And then, you're off to the races.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. So if anyone wants to get into game design, talk to Kurt. Just talk to Kurt. Or nag him. Nag Kurt for an opening
Stay
somewhere.
persistent.
Yeah. All right. So tell me more about some of the games that's in the works. Are there any are you going to do any? Are you only going to stick to console? I mean, not console, mobile games. Are you going to bridge out to console at some point?
Yeah, I mean, we definitely know that our fan base is on mobile. I mean, like, at this point, like, I think our total catalog of games is like 30 million downloads or something like that. So, I mean, we have a base of fans there, and I know mobile is really competitive. So, for us, it's like that's where we're definitely at right now. But we're always looking to try and figure out ways to branch out. So, like, one of them was like the Pop the Lock got turned into an arcade cabinet.
Yes.
Which is at like Dave and Buster's and stuff, which is crazy.
It is.
So, like for us, that was the first time we've ever seen a physical based product of something we've made. And that was really exciting. We have tons of card game prototypes that we work on. And then we've messed around with some VR stuff, and there have been a couple attempts at making something more like console based, but it's interesting because it's like console. It's funny because people say like mobile is so risky and so scary to put a mobile game out there. But for some reason, to me, it feels like all the other places are so scary to put out there. Like Steam is like making a PC game for Steam is like, I don't even know how we would tell people about that game.
Yeah, I'd probably say mobile games are a lot easier because I mean, you would say that more people are on a mobile device, searching the App Store than they would be on Steam. Because I feel like even though there are a lot of gamers on PC, console, it still doesn't beat the amount of people that are on a mobile device, that have a mobile device.
Yeah.
And people spend so much of their time using a mobile device. So something like the Twitter game, that's something that, you can just do in your spare time, which is pretty nice. On your way to work or something like that. You're not driving though, because we don't do that. But rearranging tweets.
Yeah, and I think it's interesting too. I think part of the reason that we gravitate towards mobile too is that like, the PC console community or generation, which I'm part of, is like they're looking for something very specific. You know what I mean? Like they have an idea of exactly what they want, and there's some things that break the mold for sure, but like there's a very idealized version of what it means to make a console game or a PC game, right? And with mobile, you know, primarily I think because it's like it's influx of women who have now become like in the gaming culture, but for them it's like a new thing. And I think there's like this interesting place where we can kind of make things that are new and different, and they want things that are new and different because they don't have a preconceived idea of what a game is necessarily. Right. So I think that's something that like attracts us as far as like one of our basic disciplines here is like being explorers. Like if we don't think it's exciting or fun for us to build it or to find something out or learn something, like we canned a project that we worked on for like almost 6 months, and we just like, we were close to releasing it, and we were like, you know what? We've already made this before. And we were like, we gotta like just cut it. So we cut it, and then that's when we started making the Twitter game, which is like, I mean, who makes a game using real Twitter data is like ridiculous. But we were excited about it, you know? So I think that's another thing too with mobile. Yeah.
Okay, so I see we got some awards here at the top.
Yeah.
Let's talk about. So let's talk about those 2 awards you got here and what they mean. What were they for? You know.
Oh, you're looking at the Hearthstone Award? That's because we beat everyone in here at Hearthstone. That was one year. Is that the?
Well, I was looking at the Playcraft one.
Yeah, I know. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
I honestly see. I'm sitting right here, so all I saw was just like a giant. Like I was like, "What is?" I don't even know what that is. Now that I move there. Oh, okay, I see. I see.
You know, there's we got the best gameplay 2015 for Smooth, and then Game Changer Award 2015 for me. And then we also got mobile game of the year for Calculator this past year.
Oh, the Calculator. Oh, yes, which I did try at Play NYC a lot. That was a lot of fun. And these guys really put the simple in simple machines for games. These are like really easy games that like anyone can pick up, anyone can play. You know, it's not like you have to learn how to do something like that you don't already know how to do, which is really nice. Yeah. So let's talk about some of the games, and let's kind of, do you guys have something that we could show off, to some of the people?
Yeah, I think so. We could start off with the project that Danny's working on, __.
All right.
We can just show you that kind of real quick, and then we have the Twitter game we can show you, and then some art too that we've been messing around with.
Right. All right. Okay. Cool. Bring the whole chair over. All right, let's talk about. All right, so yeah, we got space. So tell us about the game, what it is, and how you designed it. What were your influences about the design and the UI?
Yeah. So basically, oh, sorry, I was like, where am I talking? So basically, the game objective is to get this bar inside the middle. It's very simple. It starts out very easy. Not too many barriers to your quest, I guess. But as you go, it gets a little harder. So more bars come up. But you're still trying to just get them into the middle.
Mm-hmm.
And then once you get to a point, we start introducing the actual game mechanic, which is... Oh yeah, so this bar actually moves the other bars. And so eventually it gets really difficult because more bars come up. They all have these connections to each other, and you're not really sure what they are until you touch them. So it's a lot of just like playing with it and figuring out like, oh, okay, this one moves that one down, this one moves this one up. So you kind of have to experiment every single time to get it into the right configuration. And while we were doing it, we kind of realized it was less of a game of like challenge of like, oh, I have to get to the next level, but more of like a meditative toy-like experience, almost like a Rubik's Cube. Because you're not trying to get it in like the fastest amount of time or like the optimal amount of moves. You're kind of just like figuring out like why do these things act like this? And like how do I navigate this world? So, yeah, I guess with the visual choices, we went with a very simple, minimal choice just because we didn't want any distractions to come with this game, and we felt that every single time we tried to add like characters or like fancier animations, it was like, oh, Like I kind of liked it better when it was just like
Just bare
the
bones.
bars,
Yeah,
just
right.
the lines. And when we were testing it at Playcrafting, we got similar feedback that people really liked how simple it was. They liked the colors. They liked how meditative it was.
Right. This is. I'd play this on the train. How many bars do you normally would you get, like if you at the higher levels, like you get like, is it only 4 bars or does it go like really like put like 9 bars, 9 tiny bars, and like they all move and like 3 or 4 of them move at once?
Yeah, I can show you a harder level, but it gets to right now the max is like 7 bars. Let's see if I can pull that one up.
How many levels are there? That's
So right now it goes on forever.
forever. Oh.
Just keeps on going.
Oh.
But it's capped at 7 bars, so just because of like the
Space, the
real
phone
estate,
space,
it's like,
yeah.
oh God, like I don't have enough space to make more bars.
Right. When it's, maybe for iPad you can just keep going.
Yeah, so designing the levels for this was also very interesting because, I mean, when you're talking about it, it sounds very simple. It's just like, oh, there's just a bunch of bars and they're connected. But when you start doing like the math of these things, it's like you get into a lot of like endless loops. It's like if this one's touching this one, but that one's touching the same one, then you can't move
Can't move
either of
the
them.
other
And it's like, okay. So we have to put in a lot of these rules that say like they can only do this, they can only do that,
Mhm.
and make it so that it's not super hard and super challenging just because we didn't want it to be like frustrating for the user. Is this on the screen?
Yeah. It should be.
Oh, cool. So just like walking through like the level like spreadsheet that we had to come up with for this, we wanted to start it off very easy and slow. So just as a general rule, the blue and green is like easier, and then yellow and orange is like harder. And so we didn't want it to just go like linear, like 0 to 100 in like 2 seconds. And so we kind of ease them in and bring them up to a harder one. But then the next one after that is easy again, so they can like
Have that moment to rest.
they
Yeah,
have
it's like,
that
all
moment
right.
to like get used to it, and it's like okay, and then it slowly gets hard, and then it's the hardest one, and the next one it's like okay, it's easy again. So
God,
it's not
yeah.
like it's not a constant uphill battle.
Mhm.
Yeah, it gets kind of crazy down here though.
The 45s. Yeah, it looks. Okay. Okay. So that's one game. What else do we have working on? What else are you working on in terms of UI? Is it this is the only one that you're working on right now for you for UI development? And
I've basically just been working on this one, but it's gone through like a lot of different iterations. Like this is one of the first GIFs that we had. And
Okay.
It was just like okay, but I mean you can kind of see it hasn't changed too much.
too
like,
much the core of it.
Yeah, like the mechanics hasn't changed, nothing like that. But we went through a lot of different color choices, and I think that is a big part of it, just because you're staring at the colors.
Colors.
So
Yeah,
like
it's all color.
if we pick like jarring colors or colors that people don't want to stare at, then it's like
Yellow.
like I don't know if I want to play this.
High yellow. Like staring at high yellow for like it's like trying to figure out where these lines move. It's like oh, phew.
Yeah, so this was when we were trying to look at like characters and stuff.
Mhm.
We ended up cutting that. We had some walking animations in there.
So I take it that you guys both worked on the animations for this as well, right? You worked on the 3D and you worked on the 2D sprites. Okay, okay, okay. Understandable. Okay. So I see there's a lot goes on to making a simple game. Like as simple as they look in terms, there's a lot that goes on for them. Now, do the colors, are they just random for each level, or like does each stage determine a certain like difficulty of the color? Like, well, it gets harder, it goes into like the reds, the deeper reds, or just like just whatever color it decides to pick. Is it all random?
It's not random. Like every single time you play it, you're gonna get the same sequence of colors.
Okay.
But it's not like the colors don't correspond
Correspond to
to
any
difficulty.
type of
It's just
difficulty.
kind of like what kind of looks nice in the
Next level, okay.
in the next level. Yeah. I can show you like one of the transitions that we made. Is that the color changes from like a gradient?
It's like a gradient effect into the next, which is nice. Very clean, simple. And you do all this in the Unity program. Everything is done, or
Yep.
very
All
nice.
of the animations and the levels are done in Unity, and we just feed in this like the level spreadsheet, which just tells the bars what to do.
What to do? Okay, okay, all right. What else do we have working? What else are you guys working on? So thank you.
Look at the Twitter game and see some how this
Wait.
game works.
Oh, he's not seeing
Just refresh OBS. Continue talking.
Hmm.
Refresh OBS.
Let's see.
So let's talk about let's look at some of the art behind some of these games. We have our 2D and 3D artist over here.
Yeah, so Ivan's been working on 2D art for the Twitter game.
Hmm.
Oh, sorry. Thank you.
And that's been a lot of fun because we're kind of trying to capture the whole feeling of how weird Twitter is and how fun Twitter is. So we kind of came up with these little characters that you collect and unlock. And this is kind of like the bravado part of playing the game. It's like you can play the game and unlock these tweets and like figure them out. And then you collect these like ultra rare little gremlins that walk around the bottom, and like they all represent some strange part of the Twitterverse. So Ivan can show you kind of how we like came across these characters, and then he can show you some of the ones he's been working on and the animations.
Sure. So when we first started the Twitter game, we wanted to attach some kind of mascot or character. So those started out as very rough sketches. Some of them were Minion inspired. So before we got to the final like square, there was a bunch of like rounder ones, and then like some with like more like complex shapes.
Hmm.
Eventually, those would evolve into these more streamlined, more like basic and generic form factor. And the idea was that they are narratively they are responsible for why the tweets are broken up. So they will, in the trailer, they take tweets and they just shred them for no reason, and it's your responsibility to put them back together so they come to you for help in the game. So you'll see them walking around in the UI, and we're like in the actual game they'll be like walking at the bottom of the screen, and at certain points you get to, like Kurt said, eventually you'll be able to collect rare ones with different skins. So right now what we've been working on is more of a sprite sheet, but so you'll get like a bunch of different themed ones. Like you can get, let's see, like there's a police officer. You can get a, you can get a chef, a samurai. Right now there's a skeleton, a firefighter. There's really a bunch. There's going to be at least 100 different little buddies you can get. Yeah, there's a sushi. This one's really cool. It's like it's gonna be like riding in the UFO and stuff. So yeah, that's pretty much what we've got going on in terms of art. Did you want to add anything or?
Yeah, I mean, so part of it, you know, is like we were talking about, like it's kind of fun to come up with these because the constraint is like there's a form factor to these characters, and we kind of have to illustrate a lot of different looks and a lot of, you know, make them fun for people to collect them. Like we don't want to just do like the same kind of like, oh, it's this one, but it has a zebra stripes on it. You know, what
Right.
we're really trying to do is make it so that like once you get one and you unlock it, it's kind of something to show off and like show to your friends that you collected them. And it also ties in really well with like the feeling of the game, because the game's really based around like the topics of Twitter. Like that's where we kind of like break things up. So it's either like pizza topics, or it's like on a cruise topic, or at work topic, and like those are the tweets that you play. So trying to fill these out and kind of make them kind of feel like they cover all parts of the weird Twitterverse
Twitterverse, yeah.
is a lot of fun. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Should we go over and take a look at the game?
Sweet.
So, so this is the game itself, and just to run through it, I think just now earlier in the live cast we were talking about how the tweets is interesting and how there are different type of tweets that we need to deal with and take a look at. So, like for example, I can just show you the amount of data we actually get here. All right, so we the only thing that we actually search by is by different categories. Like, so we have like food category and we have like cheese. So we put in the search term is cheese, and then they'll pull out a number of tweets.
Okay.
And also there are some filtering that we do so that we only get tweets that we think that it's actually playable. Like I mentioned just now, if there's too many hashtags, we'll not use those tweets at all. And if there's too many ad people and stuff like that, if there's images and stuff like that, then we will filter those out. So for example, like bacon, there's 15 tweets that we can play now. So depending on
Only 15?
well, we kind of filter a bit.
Filter.
And we also have to limit the number of results we get.
Okay.
Yeah, so I think Twitter, there are certain restrictions that they put on you if you're using a account to get the information. Right?
Okay.
So that you don't spam their search bot and stuff like that. So yeah, so depending on the time of day you come in and play the game, then your tweets, the tweets that you're playing will be the same, right? So like for example, you see like these are the 15 tweets. So if we play something to do with bacon, then we also randomly choose among these 15 tweets for the tweets that you will play.
Okay.
So for example, let's say if I choose, and then we saw just now like all the different gremlins that you can collect that Ivan was showing, and so this will be like how you collect. I'll try to make this bigger. Alright, yeah, so you can see it better. Right, so yeah, so these are like the different gremlins you can collect. So we'll be adding more. So hopefully by the end of the whole thing, we'll have like hopefully like 800 to 1,000 gremlins you can collect and stuff like that. And yeah, so to play the game, then we just click on sleeping, for example, and it'll be like, so then this is like a particular tweet that we chop it up. So the way we chop them out is also we don't want to, if we can, we'll try to put emojis together and stuff like that, and then so that the words you play will not be too difficult.
Right.
Yeah, yeah. And speaking of emojis, we didn't realize how difficult it is to actually play around with emojis. Yeah, because they are their own, because they use like Unicodes and stuff like that, and apparently emojis can be updated year by year.
Yes.
So like we use a spreadsheet for let's say we use a spreadsheet as 2016. This means that in 2018, if there are new emojis being added, we need to update it constantly and stuff like that. Yeah. So it's not an easy thing. We came to realize. Yeah. So right now, if like you actually find this person like NY Dumplings, you will actually see this tweet that this person has posted on.
Does it now the tweet that it takes, does it pull from like recent tweets, or does like whenever they post, they could have posted it?
We do both recent and popular.
Okay,
yeah,
so
yeah.
So I won't pull like a tweet from like 2015 or something like that.
Yeah, there you see.
Oh, can you actually just go straight to the tweet from the game?
Yeah,
or?
yeah. If you press on it, it'll open a browser in on your phone itself that will open the tweet.
Oh, that's pretty nuts.
Yeah. So I mean, eventually we may want to allow people to like, oh, you can follow this person and stuff like that.
Right.
And since it's already open there for you to take a look and stuff like that. So like this is a recent tweet. You can see there's a today 5:58.
Couple hours ago.
Yeah,
So.
yeah. So this is a recent tweet. Yeah. So that means this is part of the recent
tweets
search
query.
Correct. Yeah. Yeah. Right, and then you can play. So then, like the gremlins will be here, and then they'll be happy if you get it correct. Right. I am going back to sleep. Right. So the gremlins will be happy that you got the tweet correct and stuff like that. Yeah. So that's how we.
Do they do anything besides from like cosmetics, and like you just get them for completing certain levels, or like?
Yeah. Right now, there'll be different tweets. You can unlock them when you earn a number of coins from the different quests and finishing tweets and stuff like that. You get coins, and you can use them to buy gremlins. Yeah.
Okay.
And then they'll kind of populate, and you can show your friends like, oh, I got this gremlin that you did not have, kind of thing. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So let's see. Let's take a look into the
next one.
3D side of things and what we've been working on the 3D side here.
Yeah, so this is kind of like this will be the last thing we have, but it's a little bit of a secret project that we've been working on. So we'll share a little bit of it, but this is an interesting project that we started working on. We kind of wanted to make a game where we wanted to take these kind of like match games that people are making,
Mhm.
and we wanted to make something really unique with it. So we kind of are looking at this whole universe that we've kind of created. It's a little bit different than a lot of the stuff that we typically make.
Yeah.
But we got really excited to start building this over Christmas and this past summer. And the way that it works is you're kind of this character. You'll see this this like cat character girl kind of talking on the side there, and she's in the red shirt, and then the other one, Manta, is in the Stingray purple ship. The idea is kind of like if Mass Effect met Candy Crush.
Okay.
Maybe, I don't know, like maybe that's a good way to put it.
Sounds about right.
But the thing that we wanted to do with it is like a lot of these mobile games that are match-based games are usually like generally very like aggressive about like not being a part of like you don't feel like you're in a game. You feel like you're in a bunch of menus, and then they put you into a game, and then they pull you back out. And as you can see, like with that like demo there, like what we're really trying to do is make it feel like the game is the universe, right?
Right.
And so like in a traditional match game, you're really like swiping on candies, and like I don't know what that means, but you swipe on them. Like, hey, I mean, it works, right?
It works.
But with this, what we wanted to do is like, what if your pieces you were matching were actually the things that were doing the damage and like happening, like almost like if you were the squad commander,
Right.
and you're like telling them to form up, And so what you're seeing here is like each one of these pilots has their own ship at the top, and they correspond to the ships below. So like Manta's ship is there, the purple one. The B guy, you can kind of tell, obviously the black and yellow is the
Right.
B ship. And then the other ones have like their own ships. And the idea is that you collect these pilots by flying around and meeting them and like helping them and doing stuff. There's like a larger story arc. But the main gameplay is like this seamless feeling where, you go from a cutscene, like a little bit, we definitely like took cues from like Star Fox kind of feel, like, like, but you can't shoot down anyone like you could shoot down Slippy, which I'm a little sad about. But, but there's still time. We're still working on it, so
Right.
you never know. But yeah, so the idea was like, but what if we took that and instead of making them just chips that you're matching, like we actually make these pilots like have unique ships that have unique abilities. And then you kind of pick the loadout of who you're going to go down
know
with,
it.
and then you can attack these ships. So when Now's done like attacking this last ship, you'll see that like each match isn't just like a level for the sake of being a level. It's actually like a story that kind of progresses that you resolve. So what they're doing on this planet is trying to find this distress beacon. But they've already seen that like this enemy has already kind of like come here for the same reasons. But once she finishes, you'll see that like they conclude like part of the match, and then you can come back down later on the next mission and like continue the storyline. So yeah, I think Val's gonna beat him right now. Yeah, so you beat this, and then we do. This is all
Kills
custom
all
art,
the
you're saying?
things.
Yeah. But then after it's done, you get to see their like conclusion, which is like they're kind of like talking to each other and like like saying, "Oh man, I thought how did they get down here? They must have found this," and then they kind of take off, and then you can continue to the next battle. So now can kind of talk to you about like how we've been working on. I mean, this is really like this is even before alpha stuff. This isn't even like any way releasable.
Pre-alpha, guys.
Yeah, this is like way behind.
Pre-alpha footage.
This game probably won't be done for another 6 to 9 months or something like
Right.
that. Who knows? But
Whoa, we got some. Wow.
yeah, right now we're doing a lot of world building, and I think Now can tell you about the world building and also how we build ships and things like that.
So this is just another scene that we're working on. Before it was the desert one, and now we're working on more of an industrial looking one. And basically what I do is I make the models in Maya. So we see that here. And then model them, UV them, and then texture them. So they're just really simple, like gradients and yeah, I don't do too much like detailed texturing or anything. It's just very simple shapes and silhouettes. And then I just put them into Unity, make sure they're the right scale. And if I open up another oops. So then I've also made like a bunch of ships.
Oh yeah, you show them the home ship.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. So we've been spending a lot of time trying to.
It's really hard to hold this
Here, So one of the things we wanted to do is like from the point that you saw the game is like they're looking at planets, and from planets you can go on missions, and then that's where the stories are. But if you back up one level, the thing is like they're kind of traveling through space, trying to resolve this huge catastrophe that's taking place. And we've been trying to build like what their mothership looks like, or like what their home ship looks like. And that's been a lot of fun because now and I spend a lot of time, as she'll kind of like talk to you about like how we kind of started building this ship and trying to keep it feeling like home, but then also making it feel large and like it could, I don't know, she can explain a lot of it.
Thanks.
Can
So,
you move through this way?
yeah, sure. You have to. I'll hold this for you. Wait. Oh, you have to hit the middle mouse button and then drag it. Yeah. So basically, what was the concept chip that we talked about?
Google oh, the Enterprise? Or
Yeah, the Enterprise.
So apparently someone has never watched.
I'm sorry.
Well, you never watched Star Wars or Star Trek? None of them.
Don't kill me.
Although I gotta be honest with you, in this circumstance, it's a real benefit because it now brings a lot of like
Original ideas, so like trying to make it right.
Like,
Right.
trying to make the Death Star every single time. It's like it's all new. So like I think a lot of the style in it too, like is like that's kind of a fun thing to kind of see.
Yeah, there's always a silver lining. So yeah, we wanted to go for something more like round and yeah.
So are these the development of like what you've kind of like the concept, all the different types of concepts? Or are these like what it starts off as, or like?
So the first one was what I first started up with.
From a sketch, right?
Yeah. It's on a Photoshop document, but basically we wanted to have a very simple, like round silhouette, so that it kind of seems more like a conference, like where people can gather instead of.
Right.
So that doesn't look too much like an attack ship, but then we tried making changes to the silhouette. We went for more of a angled one, and then Kurt and I discussed that we didn't really like the sharp angles because it looked
Too
Like-
sharp.
Yeah,
like
like a-
aggressive.
Aggressive. Yeah. It's
aggressive,
like
yeah.
that looks like an attack, like full on attack ship. Like.
yeah. So then we went back to the original shape, and then we kind of did some more exploring. We wanted to try to figure out what to do with like those ribbon things and the circle. Yeah.
And like I know it's like funny because people think that like with making games or something like that, that it's like you're gonna sit down and draw this epic, awesome battle axe and stuff like that. But like in reality, like it's really like, can you even spot the difference between these? It's like probably has to do with some of the the way that we
The way
did
that the
ribbons
ribbon.
here.
Yep.
Trying that out, you can see there's a break here, but there's not on this one. Do we want it to look more sleek? On the next ones, then you can tell that there's like, is it moving?
I think the middle mouse. Are you clicking that one?
Yeah.
Or do I have to
There we
do
go.
the activity?
You can see that like the wings change,
yeah.
and then kind of like once we were sure, a lot of how we design stuff here at Simple Machine is like me personally, I'm very much a fan of like, we don't try to say that we know what we already want. We think we have an idea, and then we go in and then we want to see everything, which means that a lot of times, like even when hiring people here, it's like they have to be okay with knowing that when we scrap something, it doesn't mean that it was wasted time. And
right.
people have a really hard time with that. Like people will be like, I did all that and we like, why did we spend a whole day making that? And it's like, you know, like when we work on stuff here, I think part of what helps us is that we value, they're not mistakes. It's like, if we know that something didn't work, then that means the thing that does work, we're twice as sure of. And we know that, right? It's like it's not like something we believe in. It's like, no, it's like we know that the wings don't look great because they don't look good. It's the only one that has them and we didn't like it that way, you know? And it's like, when you come across here, then that helps us to take this. And once we know this is locked in, like the wings that we want, then we can start moving on to something else
Right.
and really build it up with a strong foundation. Like you can see, like now here was really like, we got to a point where it was like, okay, well, we can't any more shapes with this. We've done as many
Right.
shapes as we can.
Yeah.
Now let's try to like
Add more
really
guns.
build out some crazy stuff and see what happens. Like, and so you can kind of see like how that process is kind of like it builds on layers. And it's not even done yet, you know. It's still
Right.
going to be even more layers, you know. Even the bottom of the ship, which is like so not
Oh, yeah.
a sexy thing to talk about, is like we spent so much time like getting the right rounding because like it kind of looked like a whale, but then at one point it looked like a cruise ship, like, and then you know it was like really getting it to feel like, oh, okay, like yeah, this is what we want, you know.
Right.
And I think that's the biggest mistake is like we look at like a lot of the people that we look at in game development, we think they have this like grand vision for something, and like I don't think that's true. I mean, I've been working in games for a long time, and like and I feel like the best things that come out of it are just, it's like anything, it takes time, slow cook, you know. It's the way it works. Like there's no way to make something fast, easy, quick, and like stun the world. It just doesn't work like that. And if it does, you're lucky, but that's all it really is. You know what I
lucky,
mean?
yeah.
It's about learning what looks good, learning what works. Here you go. Now you want to talk about this one? Oh, you already showed this one? Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I kind of showed it, but I don't know what else to say.
Yeah.
Dreaming of pipes at night.
Yeah, I'm dreaming of pipes at night, pipes and rocks, because that's all I've been making.
Rock
Um,
formations.
Yeah, it's a great time.
Now, I see. The way I was looking at this game, I kind of reminded me of another game that I played like back in the day called Puzzles and Dragons. Kind of had the same feel.
That's right.
With the team base, you pick your own team. Is it kind of reflecting something off of that kind of? Definitely has that feel because I put a lot of hours in that game. I put a lot of hours battling, getting everything
Oh,
right.
yeah. Oh, we have like
Doing the daily ball. Yeah, I could see where I saw them like, oh, this is gonna go far. I saw them like, this is gonna go real good. So
the fun thing about it was like we started with the concept. It's actually based off of a game that was made by us. Like it was the second game called Tomb Breaker, and it had that mechanic where you drew lines and kind of like patterns, and it didn't do great, but people always felt like would come up to me out of a crowd and be like, I got 10 million on that game. When are you going to update that? And it was like 6 months later. And it was like, okay, I mean, I'm sorry, I can't do anything with it.
Right,
Like,
yeah.
you know, so it was always a thought of mine to like take that and turn it into a battle game because those Puzzles vs. Dragon games do really well. And the mechanic itself, like the ability to draw those lines, like actually leads to a lot of like deep strategy of stuff that you can
Yes.
do.
Yes.
And so when we kind of tested it out over the summer and built a prototype, everyone in the office was just like, this game is awesome. Like,
Yeah.
this game is so fun.
I saw it. I'm like, no, I'm gonna need to get my hands on that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's gonna be.
Yeah, and then when we spent the over Christmas break, it was just myself now and Ivan, and you know, it's like we had like 2 days. It was like Thursday and Friday before New Year's, you know, weekend, and it was like, all right, we're not gonna like work on something, but we are in the office. So I was like, let's just make some ships and some characters, and by the end of it, I think we had like 3 characters and like 2 ships or something like that, or 3 ships, like the main ship, that pink one, and then a couple others. And like I really left that weekend, I felt so motivated and inspired that it kind of became a thing where it was like, all right, well, let's keep working on it until we get it to a point where we can play it, and then let's sit on it for a little bit and think, because it's a pretty big game. Like in mobile, that's like,
Yeah, it's gonna be. That can have a lot of layers in terms of what can be done in a game with that type of strategy type.
and I'm usually good with like you know, not getting like overly ambitious about adding crazy stuff to a project. But with this one,
yeah,
I was like,
you gotta go. You gotta go. All
yeah, I was
out.
like, we have to have a ship that like has 2 states that it can flip between, like, you know what I mean? Like, and then there's like another one. I was telling him like, we have to have another ship that can like break apart and doesn't attack, but like connects onto the other ships in your squad that like buffs them up, and like all this crazy stuff. So it was like really like the game design elements are like, it feels like there's so many things you could do with it that you could just keep going. We had the one pilot, I don't know if you saw him on there, but he's like a rock. And so we have this running joke that like his ship is just basically an asteroid. And when he flies by, he doesn't even shoot. He just like rams into them because he's just an asteroid. And it's just like, so it's like, there's a lot of like, when you get to points like that, when you're working as a team to make a game and you feel that like excitement or like even just internal memes happening, it's like, it kind of is a tell that like the team's excited. And like, as I said before, that's the thing that we're most interested in, is like, we want to make great things for people to play, and the only way we can do that is if we're inspired by the
Right.
things we're making
Right.
and excited. And like this for us is like, man, yeah, imagine a Candy Crush game you could play and not feel embarrassed to play. You know what I mean? And be like, oh my gosh, like this story's got me
Yeah.
really teared up because one of the characters died. Like, oh my god, it's just a match game, but why? I'm so sad.
It's
right
like
now.
it was like Walking Dead. I've seen so many people like the Telltale Walking Dead. I've
Yeah.
seen so many people like break down after that game. I'm like, oh my god, like this game that had layers on it, decision making, all that. But like, yeah, this is definitely a game I definitely see. As with all of them, definitely this one has a lot of depth into it. Definitely a lot of layers, and there's endless possibilities with a game like this. There's, like you could just
Yeah.
keep just throwing fresh new ideas out and you keep that going. So.
Yeah, new pilots to collect.
Right. So
Yeah.
that could probably have some nice long life.
Yeah. And there's a couple other projects we're working on, but a lot more story stuff from us this year. A lot more innovative mechanics. I think if like there's one thing that is true is like we felt like when we hit Pop the Lock that it was like very commercial, and we were
Yeah.
getting really commercial towards like trying to just make games that people were already looking for, and then we kind of felt like we lost our soul a little bit as far as like the excitement of making new things. And we all agreed the end of last year, like me, Eric, and Alec, who now is at Blizzard, made this decision that it was like innovation, storytelling, and what was it? Unique? It's like 3 things, yeah, basically that we agreed was like if it doesn't fit at least 2 of those things, they gotta go.
You gotta go.
Yeah.
All right. So this brings us into our second half of the segment, the play part.
Yeah.
You know, it's time to play some games. You know, what do you guys got for me to play today? Because I gotta get my hands on something. I got a game. I got a game.
What should we get them to
What we
play?
got?
Yeah. Why don't we
Let's
play the
let's
Twitter
play
game?
some Twitter games, guys. If I get one of my tweets, I'm doing a backflip in the middle of the office.
Well, we could do it on your computer, huh?
Sure, we can.
Yeah, we could do that.
You can just play in front of the camera. No?
That works.
Problem solved.
We did for Street Fighter. I play NYC. Oh, this is a pro. Oh, it's a 12.9. Okay. Oh, let's just see. Angle that down. Okay. Oh, so it refreshes new topics every so often here. Every hour we got some new. Oh, Tinder. Oh no, we gotta pick Tinder. Oh, this is gonna be good.
No.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be a good one.
If you have kids in the room, so no, I'm just kidding.
Whew. We picking Tinder, guys. Whatever we do, we're gonna pick Tinder.
Just like that. Just like that.
Okay, that's good. All right, so we're gonna do some. Our topic for the day is gonna be Tinder. Here, we're gonna look at some of the tweet. Tinder is definitely. If Tinder is better than life, I don't know. I almost want to go to this profile. Does it work here if I like tap on a profile? Will it send me
No,
to the
yeah, we haven't.
Not
We
yet?
don't have that connected yet.
No, this one might. You can-
This one might. Can you try it?
Oh,
Oh,
okay,
you can
okay,
try it on the
next
next
one.
one. Oh, you got the little pirate down there. What is it? I should make a Tinder, y'all.
She got a whole man. What's she making a Tinder for?
Yeah, it takes you right to it.
Tony has a whole Twitter, and she has a man in her picture. Not good. All right.
Hopefully he's not watching.
Right.
Why do I take Tinder so seriously? That's the problem with people. They
Because-
take it so seriously.
Because Tinder is life. That's why this Tabitha takes it so seriously. It
you know,
makes
you
all
gotta
the
have fun
sense.
though. You know.
Yeah. Right.
Try the I again. Yeah. Want to create a Tinder account?
Okay. So yeah, this. If you want to get that 3 stars, you got to be really
You
fast.
do. You
You
really
got to
do.
be really
yeah.
fast.
Uh oh. Tinder really lets you know if you're ugly.
That's a top tier. That's a top tier tweet.
does.
Yep.
It does really let you know.
Nani.
To clarify, we did not do any
Yeah, we-
any tweets like that.
Yeah, these are totally random.
real tweets.
Yeah,
Real
yeah.
tweet. These
it's-
are
we don't control
These are
anything or
top tier
curate
tweets
anything.
right here.
Yeah, Tinder really does let you know. If
Oh, so
you're
you do
ugly.
5 and then okay. So I get some coins here.
Yeah.
And from that menu we just did, can you review the tweets again? Like from that menu after I did the 5, it showed like some of their @names. From there, can I go to their Twitter, or does it like?
Oh yeah, you can. And actually, what we were working on too is this will blow your mind. We were actually connecting this to Shopify to print the tweet on a shirt or a mug that you liked.
Yo,
Yeah, it's crazy.
My mug collection is about
Yeah,
to get
it's like,
crazy.
it's like how many mugs about Tinder can you buy? This is gonna put it to the test.
Let's see.
Millionaire's usually really
sneezing.
good. Oh, sneezing. Let's see.
Yeah, that's got to be a good
Let's
one
see.
here. Keep sneezing.
Keep sneezing. Help. Oh, you got it. I thought it was I keep help sneezing. Yeah, and then there's like
And
these
there's, like, a
daily
little
quests,
quest.
which are great, so you can kind of like earn more, and you have to find like different topics to make sure you can get them. Don't sneeze and drive.
I want to get one of. If I get one of my friends that I know, it would make my day. Like that would really make my day. Sneeze. What?
Sneezing feels so good.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Sneezing feels so good.
It is right. Yeah. Feels so good sneezing. See, that's how you get you. It's like
It is.
be-
Oh god, my dog just sneezed on my face.
oh my god.
It's funny because the thing
Look at
about
his
it,
face. Look at his face. He definitely. He's like, oh my god, why did my dog?
yeah, he looks like it just happened.
It just.
It's a real time. You're seeing it go down.
It's real
He's
time.
live tweeting about
Right.
his dog sneezing on his face. Why do you? I don't know. I guess
I've
that
never
is
seen a ref sneeze in my life. Now
questions
I
that
think
need
about
to
it.
be answered.
Right.
you
These
know?
are
yeah.
definitely things that need to be answered.
Yeah.
So so I can go.
Yeah,
I
you'll be
can
able
go
to
to their
go there and
Twitter
do that.
from.
Oh yeah, we'll put it on the
put it
end, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, you got to put it on it. But from here, you can see who did it, and then you can go to their Twitter.
Yeah. Try Millionaire. Usually, money topics have
It's
some
gotta be
real
good. It's
have
gotta
some
be
real
good.
gems in them.
Let's see. What?
Oh man.
Oh.
What?
Oh. Oh.
It's like you know Twitter. It's
you
like
just
you
gotta
are
know.
Twitter.
Yeah, you just gotta know. Like this sounds like you'd be a tweet.
It's like you are Twitter.
You gotta do it. What?
What is this? None of these have millionaire in them. Oh, so you want to see how weird this whole thing gets? So it doesn't have millionaire in it, but it has millionaire in their name.
their
So
name.
it's like one of the things we
So
have to fix as a bug.
he just got 2 tweets. I gotta go to him like, yo, I got 2 of your tweets.
So it's funny because it's like these unexpected things from searching on Twitter, which is like, okay, it just takes usernames that have the
Right.
word in it too. All
Have
right.
Oh yeah, have a baby by me, baby. Wait, have a baby. No, have a baby by me, baby, be a millionaire. That's a 50 Cent song, 50 Cent lyric. Right. I knew it.
There you go.
See, I knew that one. Oh well, I worked. Oh,
Oh, probably. Oh well,
I
I know a millionaire. Probably meant not a millionaire. Work tomorrow. No,
it's not.
Oh well. I know a millionaire.
Oh well,
Oh, we did get that one.
I know
right.
a million.
Stumbled on a bug.
Oh, okay, it was right though,
It
right?
was right. Yeah.
Okay. Ivan, that's it. It's a
All right.
bug fix for you. Wait, wait,
Yeah. What the fuck? That's
Bye.
good feedback.
the time I'm 30. There you go.
Yeah.
I gotta get my hands.
So it's like half like a trivia game,
Right.
half like word game.
There was another game. It was that game, 4 letters, where you had to do it in a certain amount of time, and you'd get points depending on how quick you did it. So that I kind of feel that same way.
Oh,
We
yeah,
want to
yeah.
be fast.
People love word games with
Yeah.
timers.
Timers,
It's
it's like
all
you
about
got to
it.
be quick. Got to be quick with it.
Yeah.
So we got
What city is that?
Whispering. It's just Boston.
Boston.
Yeah. Boston. I just went to PAX East, so PAX East. Oh, what? It's okay. That was all wrong.
What is that
I have
one?
no idea.
I am Boston. Where the Tipton?
What is Tipton?
I don't know.
Does anyone know what Tipton is?
I don't know.
Anyone? Tipton. It in Massachusetts. What is at the Tipton? Can someone figure out what is? Is it?
Ah, maybe.
At the Tipton. These tweets are so good. Honestly, these are such good tweets. Like, these are some great tweets. Wait. Okay. Yeah, that's what I thought it was. I just had like a moment.
Yeah, I was wondering if February Favor came first.
Oh, that's a fire Twitter. Yeah. See that? You know, it's a
Oh,
nice
yeah.
Twitter profile.
That is nice. You really get to admire the,
Right?
the handcrafted Twitter
How warm
profiles.
is Boston? This bus has the air conditioning on in it. See, that's what?
Oh, how warm is it in Boston? This bus has the air conditioning on. Oh,
So it's the grammar game.
yeah,
Grammar,
yeah,
let's see.
that's true.
Back to
What?
Boston revealing the big league. Thomas. No, this is all wrong. There's no way I got this right. The kid. That's. I mean, come on, it's not. Boston's not my strong suit, guys. As you can clearly tell, tweets that come from Boston are not my strong suit.
Throw some New York
Yeah,
tweets.
throw some. Yeah, you gotta get. I can.
All right,
I'm just gonna start tweeting about New York at random and hope someone gets mine.
Whispering. This should be interesting.
Just need to whisper. All right. All right.
Sometimes you just need that in your life, you know?
Sometimes you just need to whisper.
Some people need a Coke, some people need a whisper.
I feel like every single one is gonna have an emoji at the end.
I feel like it.
It's gotta be.
If you didn't use the whisper emoji in
You had
in a
to.
tweet about whispering,
Oh,
you
is
did
that what
wrong.
it is?
It looked like it. Wasn't it like the shh?
I thought that was the like
Uh-oh. Uh-oh. What did...
big.
No.
No. No.
Go back up there.
No. No, this is all.
Oh, no.
I had no
You
idea.
had to just go with what you could.
Right. No Biggie, he said. No Biggie.
He said no Tupac either. I whispered. Oh, they got you on the joke.
Right.
You got
Because
joked.
they got me because
They got you on the joke. That's a good one. I'm going to use that. No Biggie. Yeah, no Tupac either.
oh my God, I wasn't even thinking that way.
It's no Biggie.
No, it's no Biggie.
It's no Biggie.
These was looking forward to them playing the Whisper Challenge. What's the Whisper Challenge game?
I don't know.
Interesting. I don't know what the Whisper Challenge game is.
Here comes boss level.
He doesn't stop. He's gonna flick him.
Oh, what do we got? He's going to flick him if he doesn't stop. Whisper.
He's the grammar man. He's getting me. Just getting me, man. That's how they get me.
Yeah.
Got a perfect in there, so I'll take that.
That's good.
Take that.
Yeah, that's all of them. Then you gotta. So the thing is, then you can like watch a video for a random topic, although that's not connected, or you
Okay.
gotta wait like another
So
35 minutes
minutes
for new
and a new
topics to
topic.
come in.
All
Yeah.
right. So we definitely got some good stuff with the Twitter game. I'm going to be working with that a lot. I'll be just tweeting a bunch. I need to make like another Twitter and just tweet random things, just so we can have stuff to tweet about, and there's more stuff for the game. What else do we have to showcase?
I think we're good.
Is it?
Yeah, I think so.
Good. All right. So, what do we have people? What can we look out for? Can our can you consumers look out for in the next?
Thank God for chairs with wheels.
Yes, thank God. So, okay. What can we look
let's
out
see.
for next from you guys?
Well, we'll be at PAX. So
PAX
PAX
East.
East will be there. So
Mhm.
stop by our booth. We just got 250 of these
Ooh, the plushies.
little plushies, which are super cute. So we're trying to get these in the hands of our fans.
Let's see what we got.
Yeah, they're
here.
really
Ooh,
cute.
Oh,
Really soft.
So soft. Very soft.
And then, we're just, our big thing, our roadmap right now is like super crazy, packed with releasing games. Like we kind of got like a huge itch to just release as many games as we can and get these ideas out there. So we're thinking like we want to have like 4 games roughly out by like May or late May, June-ish.
Okay.
So expect to see like a lot of releases. Like the Twitter game you can see is like pretty close to being
close.
done.
Mhm.
__ game is like already submitted to Apple
absolutely.
and Google,
Cool.
so that's going to be ready to release at the end of March. And then we have 2 other projects that we'll be finishing up on that are like still in like early development, but those are expected to come out like around May time there. So a lot of games coming out, just keeping busy. Small team, but making lots of things, doing big things.
Yes, you guys. I thought there was at least like double, like 10, 15 people on the team. This is the team right here, guys. They're doing big things. Plushies. I kind of want a plushie now. I have to get a plushie. It's too soft. They're doing a lot. So stick around. Stay tuned. Check the App Store.
Oh, and follow us at Twitter, simple
Twitter.
_machine_. Same thing on Instagram. You can find us at our website, simplemachine.co, and then you can always look us up. Obviously, all our games are on Apple and Google. Just look up Simple Machine. You can find all our games on there, Pop the Lock, Calculator Game, and our upcoming game, __.
I know most of you guys have played Pop the Lock because I have.
Yeah.
And that has been some frustrating
Oh, yeah.
hours.
And we're working on a sequel for that.
Pop the
this
Lock
summer.
2.
Yeah. So that'll be a lot of fun.
It's gonna be fun. Oh yes, you did tell me some stuff. Some
Yeah,
stuff.
that's
Stuff.
right. Some stuff.
Some stuff. So
Yeah.
look out for stuff. And yes,
Maybe we'll see you at Bubble Tea.
yes, you will.
Chances are you may run into us at the local Bubble Tea.
That's very possible. You might run into them doing some bubble tea around here. So
That's where we get all our great game ideas.
bubble tea.
Secret
game.
tip.
That's
Yeah.
a
We
life.
don't want
hack
to share
right
that
there.
one with too many people.
Right, right.
So it's a good thing that
No.
this isn't like public information that they're getting right now. Yeah. We're keeping a real private stream right here. Yeah.
So what else do we have on for other developers that are coming in for our other Playcrafting weeks?
I think, don't you have
I think next
Punch?
week.
Yeah.
Next week
Yeah.
is Punch Planet. I will be here. That will be with IFC Yipes people. I know there's some FGC people out there. IFC Yipes does a lot of Street Fighter V, Marvel, everything under the sun. So check him out. He'll be here next week doing some Punch Planet. I'll be alongside with him probably, or be somewhere around.
The animations in that game are ridiculous.
Also, that was at Play NYC as well, right? That was at Play NYC. That looked. Oh yes, it was. I did play it. I did play it. That looked really good. So stick around for that. Next week we'll have them in, and as always, thank you guys for coming out. Thank you guys for showcasing everything, giving us a little rundown what you guys do, what you guys have coming up. Until next week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks,
Thank you, guys.
everybody. Thank you. Bye.